have you ever felt like the world around you wasn't real, like you were watching your own life from the outside? That has a name, and it's more common than you think. What does derealization actually do to our brain? To understand that, we first need to know what derealization even is. People on the internet describe it as a state where you feel like your surroundings are not real, like you're living inside a dream. And most people think it's something that only happens to people with serious mental health issues like trauma or anxiety. And yeah, extreme stress and trauma can trigger it, but it's more common than you think. Some people describe it like this: it feels like a wave washes over me, and suddenly nothing feels real. Visually, I can see everything, but it's like I'm looking through a very thick, transparent fog. I get lightheaded and start to panic. It can happen randomly, but I noticed it more in bright lighting or in loud, crowded places. And if you go deeper on Reddit, some people say they lived with this for years without even knowing what it was. But here's where it gets actually interesting. What your brain does in that moment is kind of insane. When someone is in a state of derealization, the brain enters a natural defense mode, fight or flight. And if neither of those are possible, the brain does something interesting. It dissociates, basically to protect itself from whatever is overwhelming it. The frontal cortex, the part responsible for higher level thinking and logic, becomes less active. At the same time, the limbic system, the part linked to emotions and survival instincts, takes over completely. Blood gets rushed to the parts of the brain that keep you alive and away from the parts that keep you connected to reality and the world around you. There is also research that links derealization to something called the DMN, the default mode network, which is the part of the brain that activates when you're at rest, just thinking or daydreaming. When this network gets disrupted or overactive, it can create that weird, disconnected feeling. This is what I found during my research, but always talk to a doctor or someone more qualified than me if you're experiencing this. Subscribe and like if you found this interesting, and if you want to know what other weird things stress does to your brain, let me know in the comments, because there is a lot more to cover. See you soon.